2025 is over now, and that means we can do a little check-in with my goals and talk about numbers. And for that I prepared a whole PowerPoint presentation, so please appreciate that. I gathered all the numbers. It took me some time, but I think let's dive right into it. So here we are now to Sabrina's mid-year statistics. If you don't know it by now, Sabrina is me. And I want to talk about numbers and goals today. Let's start with the goals I set for myself in 2025. Remind us of that before I get back to this in the end and see if I've reached the goals by now. The first goal is that I wanted to DNF more books that I don't enjoy. Then I set the goal that I wanted to read all the books I've set on my 25 for 2025 list. I want to reduce especially my 2024 TBR by half, so it all fits on one shelf. I wanted to buy less books and be more intentional about what I'm buying, because I want to work on my overconsumption that was quite heavy in the last 10 years. So to do that, I also want to read constantly on the series that I'm starting. And I want to reduce the series that I need to continue to 25, and I'm doing that in my final chapter vlogs. So you can see my progress over the month, but we're doing a summary here for 2025. And let's start with the biggest question: how many books have I read in the first half of 2025? 54 books it is in total. 10 of them were rereads, 3 of them I DNF'd, and 41 I finished. And I'm mostly okay with these numbers. The only thing I'm not okay with is the DNF number, because I wished I have a little bit more DNF'd, because I didn't enjoy all the books that I finished, mostly because they were buddy reads, and I'm still feeling guilty about DNFing buddy reads. I mostly read new books, which is quite good, but I also did some rereads that were necessary to read books from my TBR, because I have lost a lot of memories about the earlier books in a series. So the rereads were necessary. And what do you think? How many pages were these 55 books? I counted 27,039 pages, which means I have read in average 149 pages per day, which is more than I expected, and I'm really happy with that number. And I have some more statistics for you. What have I read? Which genres did I read most? I read 1 non-fiction book, 1 sci-fi book, 1 dystopia, 2 dark romances, 2 heavy romances. I invented this genre for this video because I didn't know how else I should call the Boys of Tommen books, because romance is too light, young adult romance too light, new adult romance too light, dark romance too dark. So I called it heavy romance. I've read 2 spicy romances, 6 fantasy books, so high fantasy, 8 literary fictions, 8 contemporary romances, and the biggest number, 23 romantasy books. And you can see I'm really into fantasy this year. A few years back that was different. There I've read mostly contemporary romance. So for me personally it is super interesting to see this change, and that I also getting more into literary fiction. So we will see how this all turns out by the end of the year. I'm curious about it. And what I also counted is how many books I read from my old TBR and how many new books did I read. One from 2015, one from 2017, two from 2021, two from 2022, 16 from 2024 and 22 from my 2025. So let me explain this a bit. Yes, also 10 rereads that didn't count by year, because the year is the year the book landed on my TBR. And you see the oldest book was from 2015, so it was on my TBR for 10 years. So I'm really glad I could scratch that from the list. But I also wanted to keep up with the new books that I've got and wanted to work on my goal to reduce my 2024 TBR by half. So this is what came out. Where did we went over consumption-wise? Because this was a big goal for me to work on that. Also, I put a lot of numbers down here. In January, I hauled 3 books that at this point today, I've all read them. And in January, I read 8 books in total. 2 of them rereads, 1 DNF. In February, I've hauled 8 books that are also all read at this point. I read 6 books in total. 1 of them was a DNF. In March, I've hauled 5 books. 1 of them is still unread. And I've read 9 books in total. 3 of them were rereads. In April, I've hauled 8 books. 4 of them are unread in this moment. And in total, I read 8 books in this month. 3 of them were rereads. And in May, 6 books were added to my TBR. 6 are still unread. And in total, I read 10 books in May. 1 of them was a reread. In June, I only hauled 3 books. I will show them to you in detail next week with my wrap up. 1 of them is still unread. And I read 13 books in total, which is a big number for me. 1 of them was a reread and 1 book I DNF'd. Why do I tell you all this? I wanted to do a little bit of math here to see if I've reduced my TBR this year. And so I did that. -3 books in January, +2 in February, which is not good, -1 in March, +3 in April, which was the worst month, -3 in May, and -9 in June, which I am so proud of. In total, this means that I've reduced my TBR this year by 11 books. The number is not that high, but that was never the goal. I just wanted to reduce my TBR, and I'm doing that, so I am proud of the 11 books. And I can't wait to work more on that in the next 6 months, so we can do a little check-in by the end of the year. But the biggest challenge for 2025, the final chapter, working on the series that I need to continue. We've started the year with 37 series that I need to continue. Right now we are at 33 series. In the last 6 months I started 11 new series and tried them. I DNF'd 7 series. A lot of them were new series that I've started. I finished 3 series and I got back on track with 6 series. So all in all, the number 33 is not that big of an accomplishment, but if I break it down, I'm pretty proud of that, because as I said, I also wanted to stay on track with the book that I've hauled, and that also means to start new series, which is a good thing, because if I read the first books in a series, when I buy them, I can decide if I want to continue the series and if I want to buy more books of the series, because I know myself, I do this quite often. When new books in a series that I haven't started are coming out, I buy them blind because I want to read the series at some point. And then it is quite a bummer if I don't enjoy even the first book in the series and need to unhaul them unread. That makes no sense, which is why I try to stay on track now and try to read especially first books in a series now early, before more books are coming out. And I always speak about the series that I need to continue, but I never showed them to you in detail, and I want to change that today. So I made a list and wrote everything down, all 33 series that I need to continue and how many books are left in this series. So we are starting with the Campus series by Elle Kennedy. By the way, these series are in no particular order, I just wrote them down, pure chaos. I have 2 books left in the series. The next one is the Inheritance Games universe by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I also have currently 2 books left in the series. It is possible that more books are coming out in the future, but I haven't counted them. I have only counted what is out right now, so be aware of that. The Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts is also a series that I need to continue. I have only read the first one, so I have 2 books left. Oh, and I read the first novella to this series, which also counts, but I'm good on that. I have The World of Solaria by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. I have 11 books left of this universe. This universe contains 4 series. One of them I finished, one of them I'm reading at the moment, which is the biggest series of them, the Zodiac Academy series. And after that I have the Darkmoor Penitentiary series left and the Sins of the Zodiac series, which is the series the authors are writing currently. So this is the only series that isn't finished. So I don't know how many books will be added to this universe. Let's see. I have the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I have read the first 2 books of the series, so I have 2 books left. The Cold Case Academy series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, or in English called The Naturals. I have 2 books read again and 2 books left. Then we have the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. I have read the original trilogy so far, but I have the Six of Crows duology left and the King of Scars duology, so 4 books in total. I have also left the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. I have read so far the first 5 books and need to read the 6th book in the series. So 1 book left. The Tears of Tess series by Pepper Winters. This is a dark romance series and I've read the first 2 books and am still a bit too intimidated to continue the series, but I have 3 books left in that and I want to read them at some point because they are really good, just super dark. Then we have the SEAL Team 12 series by Marlis Melton. This is romantic suspense and I have read 3 books in the series so far, so I have 3 books left. These were the first 10 series. Let's get to the next 10. We have the Aces at Ains series by Nicole Jacklin. I have read 1 book and have 3 books left. The Follow Me Back duology by A.V. Geiger. I have read the first book and never read the second book in the duology. So I have 1 book left and really need to reread book 1. The Heartbait trilogy by Stephanie Ross is also romantic suspense. I have read the first book. I have 2 books left. The Hunter series by Michelle Raven, also romantic suspense. I have read 4 books in the series and really only need to read the last book in the series. The Winter Dream series by Ayla Darder. I have 1 book left on that. I have read 4 of them, but I'm a bit intimidated of what I heard about book 5 and am waiting until book 6 is out now, so that I can read them back to back. Then we have the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. I have read 4 books this year so far and have 1 book left. And the Rocket series by Nalini Singh. I have only read the first book, so I have 3 books left. The first series by Bianca Yosivoni. I have read the first 2 books and have 2 books left. The Rosemary Beach series by Abby Glines. A big new adult series from years and years ago. I have read 7 books, I think, but I have definitely 7 left. And the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. I have read only the first book so far. I really enjoyed book 1 and really needs to read the other books. But also I need to do a reread on book 1, which is why I haven't continued the series by now. The Voyeur series by Fiona Cole. I have 3 books left in the series and have read the first 3. The To the Villain series by Hannah Nicole Mera. I have only read the first one so far, but at this point only 1 more book is out. So I should get back on track before book 3 will be out. The Black Dagger Universe by J.R. Ward is one of my big projects that I've started last year. I'm doing a lot of rereads right now, but I should finish my rereads next month. And I have 28 books left in this whole universe. And universe means this whole world contains 4 series, I think. The Black Dagger Brotherhood, the Black Dagger Prison Camp, the Black Dagger Legacy and the Fallen Angel series. So I'm working on that on a regular basis. The Witch Hunter duology by Virginia Böcker is 1 book on my 25 for 2025 list. I have 1 book left, but before I can read that I need to do a reread of book 1. I have the Rachel Morgan series or the Hollows series by Kim Harrison. I have read most of the books by now, but I have 3 books left and I need to switch languages here from German to English because they never translated the newest books of the series. The Immortals After Dark series by Kresley Cole, same problem here. They never translated the newest books of the series, so I have to switch languages to read the last 2 books. And the Wolf Shadow series by Eileen Wilkes. I really procrastinate on that because I have read 9 books of this series years and years ago, and I have 5 books left, and I can't just start the next book in the series because this is a story that continues through all of the books with the same main characters, and I have no idea what happened in the first 9 books, so I need to do a reread of that. But currently I'm doing a lot of rereads of other series, so this has to wait. Even if book 10 is one of the oldest books on my TBR and I want to scratch that, I need to see if this is still my taste and read at least book 1. We will see when this happens. My suggestion on this is not this year, but we'll see. Then we have Die Magie der Lüge. This is a duology by Nicole Gotzek. German fantasy. I have read 1 book. I don't know why it is not showing. I have 1 book left. And the second book in this duology is also on my 25 for 2025 list. And I need to do a reread of book 1 to read book 2, which I maybe do in August. We will see. Then we have the Orphan X series by Greg Hurwitz. I think this is the only thriller series on this list, and I've read 2 books years and years ago. I did a reread of book 1 last year and really enjoyed this. Both books were 5-star reads for me. There it is. I have now 8 books left in the series at this point, and I know Greg Hurwitz is still writing on the series, and the next book is coming out in 2026. So I have still a little bit of time left to get back on track. I will do it until February? No, but I can try. And the last series on this page is the Wolf's Club trilogy by Cosima Kincaid. I have 2 books left in this trilogy. And now we are on the last page of the series that I need to continue. We have the Rubyverse by Ruby Dixon. And I really sighed when I saw the number of books that I have left in this universe. It includes the Ice Planet Barbarian series, which got quite popular through TikTok, and it was one of the first books I've read because of TikTok. And I really dove into this universe, but I have still 42 books left of this whole universe, which contains 5 series, if I remember correctly. It is a lot. So we will see when I get to that. I have the Priest series by Sierra Simone. Wow, that was difficult to pronounce for me. I have read the first book in this trilogy and have 1 book left, 2 books left, sorry. And to sum up this list, I have the Cosmic Universe by Brandon Sanderson, which I started reading last year in summer, and I have still 11 books left on that until Brandon Sanderson writes more in the Cosmic Universe, which he's doing right now. So I have still some time to catch up with that. And I also want to talk about the series that I am on track with, but I know that there are more books coming out in this series. The first one is the Lakefront Billionaires trilogy by Lauren Asher. The next book and final book comes out in August, and I will read it in August. The Fae and Alchemy series by Kelly Hart. The second book in the series comes out in November. The first book was Quicksilver, if you don't know. The Hierarchy series by James Islington. I can't wait for the second book. It comes out in December in German. The English version comes out 1 month before, but I'm waiting for the German version. The Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. The same year, I'm waiting for the German version because I started the series in German. And the next book, Releasing 10, which was published in English now in May, will be published in November in German. And then we have some series where I don't know when the next book will be out. The Heartstopper series by Alice Oseman. The Into Darkness series by Navessa Allen. Rose and Chains by Julie Soto. The Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. The Vicious trilogy by V.E. Schwab. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. The Ninth House trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. And at this point it is a joke, Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin and the Game of Thrones series by George R.R. Martin. I don't think we will ever get these books from George R.R. Martin, or we will get them after he is no longer with us. That is also a possibility, because he doesn't want to deal with the whole shitstorm because it doesn't end the way the people expected it. I don't know, we will see, but I'm waiting for it. And with that, we can see if I reached my goals for 2025. Did I DNF more books? Yes, but I'm still working on getting better in that. Did I read all the books from my 25 for 2025 list? No, I'm still working on it and I'm way behind on that. I have currently read 5 out of 25 books. I need to speed up here. Did I reduce my 2024 TBR by half? No, I'm still working on it. I have currently read 16 out of 72 books, so I have 20 left to reach the goal. Did I buy less books and bought more intentionally? Yes, that was successful so far. Did I read constantly on my series? Yes, I did. And even if I haven't read a series every month, I'm still putting it on my TBR, so I don't forget about it. But I'm really getting good in it to read constantly on my series. And did I reduce my series to continue to 25? We saw it. No, I did not. I'm still working on that and am currently at 33 series. So 8 to go, but I think I can do this by the end of the year. And with that, we are now finished with my PowerPoint presentation. And the only thing left that I want to do for this video is discussing what my reading plans are for the books that I haven't read but bought in 2025. Because as I said, I buy more intentionally, and that means I also set a goal when I want to read the books. And I have 12 books left on my 2025 TBR. These 3 I put on my July TBR. These books I bought, but I won't read this year. But I'm on the Cosmere journey and I will wait for book 7 to come out for Red Rising. So I only have to do one reread of book 1 to 5. I have this 3 books plus Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. I will read Rewind It Back in August, and I also want to read this book in August. So Blood of Hercules. I want to continue the Powerless trilogy this year and finish them, and I want to read the Godkiller series this year, which is why I've bought them. And the last stack is this one, the An Ember in the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. This is a whole other project, and I want to make a video about the whole series or universe, because there is another series in this universe. I will wait to start this vlog and the reads on this series until the end of the year, because book 3 will be out in this edition in November, and the last book 4 in February next year. So I'm waiting on that so I can read it then constantly and don't have long breaks between the books. And with that, I'm at the end of this vlog, and of course my battery died at the last second before I could wrap up this vlog. So here we are now, fresh battery. And please tell me in the comments if you like this kind of vlog and if I should do the homework by the end of the year, because it took a lot of work to prepare this vlog. But if you want to see more of this, of course I will do the work and prepare these vlogs. It is also a good reminder for me how I am doing with my goals, how I am doing with my numbers. Did I reduce my TBR? So I'm glad I did it. And if you want, like this video, follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!